Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. My name's Neil and it's time for another episode of Lost. I think it's time we unpack episode 15, guys, maternity leave, where Claire, along with Kate and Danielle, discovered the medical station of the Dharma Initiative, now abandoned, but where Claire was held for at least, I'm now forgetting how long, at least a week, back in season 1 when she was abducted by Ethan. Before we start deep diving into that episode, let me tell you a story. In TV, in the movies, in my industry, we have a term called a show call. There's two types of work you can get. You can be a day call, where you were brought out for a single day because a show needs extra bodies, because it's a difficult location, or there's just a need for more help for a single day. That's a day call. And that's how most people start off in the industry. You get random day calls here, there, everywhere. And that was my first 6 months as a production assistant when I started off in the film industry way back in 2001, 2002. My very first show call. A show call is when you get hired on day one and you were told you were part of the regular crew and you're going to be there for the duration. You're going to work every day until the show is done. Now that doesn't always work out. Sometimes people are let go and stuff, but you're hired with the intention of working the duration. My very first show call was for a movie called Scooby-Doo 2. Filmed in Vancouver, and it was a blast. It was a great way to spend a summer, really get a ton of experience, work with some great people. Partway through the season, I got assigned to second unit. There's often two entire separate crews working on a project at once. Main unit is the one working with the lead actors. The director will be there. The main director of photography will be there, and it's where the vast majority of the energy of the show is focused. But there's often also a second unit, and the second unit can work on shooting stunts, stuff that doesn't involve the main actors, or what are called inserts. Sometimes a scene requires shots that don't necessarily require the main actor, but we need to focus on something small within the scene. Whether it's an actor holding a notepad and you have to zoom in on this, and all you need is really a hand, and it can be anybody's hand, so you'll hire a photo double to do it instead of wasting the main actor's time for them holding it. And so we hire a Neil photo double for this shot of the Notebook, for instance. When I worked on second unit of a series of unfortunate events for Netflix, the vast majority of our work was filming our 2-year-old actress, because main unit couldn't dedicate the time to do her coverage because she was under such strict union rules as far as how many breaks she needed per hour, how long she could be on set at a time, all of these sorts of things. So second unit gets delegated with that sort of thing. But when I was working on Scooby-Doo 2, a lot of what we did was inserts. And our last day, I remember this well, our last day of filming, we owed about 20 insert shots. And we had them all set up in a converted warehouse, acting as our studio. I mean, it was just a sort of set them up and knock them down kind of day. And one of these shots involved an insert on Old Man Wickles' feet, as he took a couple of steps on an old carpet. And for whatever reason, the performer hired to be the Old Man Wickles photo double had bigger feet than the costume shoes, and he couldn't wear them. Normally, these are the things that sometimes fall through the cracks. You know, you hire somebody to fit the wardrobe and you don't check the shoe size, and suddenly you've got somebody who can't wear the shoes that you need him to wear. So the call went out, and they started asking around, what size feet do you wear? What size feet do you wear? And they asked me as a PA what size feet I wear, and it happened to be the right size. So suddenly I was going to be the Old Man Wickles photo double on this one day, and it's one of the very few times where I've ever actually appeared on camera in a movie. So yeah, for about 2 seconds in Scooby-Doo 2, you can see my feet.
There's randomonium all... I come home with it in my shorts.
Why do I bring this up? Because of Old Man Wickles and Scooby-Doo in general. The standard theme of any Scooby-Doo cartoon was someone was trying to scare away the public from a location. Old Man Wickles made the house appear haunted so that he could smuggle gold out of the nearby mine or whatever. And isn't that exactly what the others are doing? See, I brought it back to Lost, everybody. I tied it all together. I got to tell a story and tie it into Lost. How cool is that? But when Kate discovered those lockers in the abandoned medical facility, conveniently still with all their costumes and makeup supplies, it became pretty apparent that the others dress up to go interact with the survivors. They put on ratty old clothes, they put on beards and facial makeup, and they want to appear primitive and scary, but they're not. That became very clear as Claire remembered her time in the medical station. They're doctors, they're surgeons. I'm sure there's other very talented, skilled personnel as part of the Dharma Initiative, but they put on this show to scare people away from their part of the island, and it certainly works. All you need to do is watch the tailies devolve, become more and more frightened of the others in their backstory. And to what end? Well, clearly there must be at least one other station that the others are operating out of, and they don't want anyone to stumble upon it. Maybe they've brought Walt there. They certainly brought Alex there years and years ago. Maybe they have Michael there. We don't know yet. But it's an old school tactic, and I can't imagine that someone amongst the survivors isn't going to figure that out relatively soon, especially now that we have to keep calling him Henry, held prisoner. How long will it be until Henry cracks and gives them more information instead of just talking in his cryptic nonsense? I don't know what else to talk about right now. I've just finished watching episode 18. Great Hurley episode. I want to just jump right into the next one. This one's called S.O.S. I don't know who it's about. I don't know what it's about. Very curious. I'd love if it became a Libby flashback, although I suspect it will be made to wait on that a little bit longer. I'm hoping this becomes a little more Henry Gale-centric again, just so that we can see where that story leads. But who knows? It could be something entirely different. So let's jump right into it. This is episode 19 of season 2 of Lost, and it's called S.O.S. Everything has the same serial number. That's interesting. DFTR 731.
So this isn't bothering you at all?
What's this?
Oh, sorry, FFTR. I'll have to confirm that.
Well, aren't you remotely curious as to where all this came from?
Well, I guess I was raised never to question my blessings.
My God, Rose, they've built a kitchen on the beach. They've given up
On what?
on getting rescued.
Whose turn is it? Oh, it's Locke. Okay. Is he going to try and sit it out and not do it? He's trying to remember. Yeah, he's trying to remember what he saw in the blue light, the dark light, black light. You know what I mean.
You gonna get that?
Locke's going a little lumpy.
I hear you've lost your appetite. Okay, don't talk. I was never that good at bedside manner anyway. I was thinking about something you were saying before we found out who you are. If you were one of them, force the trade. Us for you. And if they want you back,
They give us Walt and Michael. Notice he didn't change the bandage on the back.
They'll never give you Walt.
He knows about Walt, though. Walt's important. Man, if I was Locke, I'd be finding a way to trigger the black light again. No way!
Don't gun it.
We getting Rose and Bernard?
Trust me, I can do this.
Oh, they had fun setting this up in Hawaii.
Ease on the gas.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
I would have gotten it out eventually.
Oh, sure. July's right around the corner.
I'm Rose.
Oh, Bernard.
Yeah.
What a meet cute. So they're newlyweds, or recently weds anyway.
Can I buy you a cup of coffee?
Aww. I love that they're getting an episode. That's awesome. Gonna have to wait on Libby though.
Can you get Libby and meet me on the edge of the tree line in 5 minutes? Oh, and if you can get Jen and Son, Jenkins, and that Frogurt guy, the guy who used to make frozen yogurt.
Neil?
Yeah. And
Neil
Craig,
made frozen
and anybody
yogurt.
else you can get.
There's a Neil on the island. How awesome. Froyo Neil. That makes me very happy. We just got a bunch of new names. Jenkins, Neil.
You want me to come with you?
You need to stay here.
You need it more than I do.
Does Sawyer know
Do
about
yourself a favor, man.
Henry?
Don't go out there alone.
Otherwise, why does she still have a gun?
Oh, happy day. Here comes Dr. Giggles.
I'm going back out into the jungle to talk to our friend with the beard. See if we can make a trade.
And you're inviting me along because you want a gun, huh?
I'm not inviting you, I'm inviting Kate. And I've already got a gun, but thanks for offering.
How the hell did you get a gun?
Does it matter?
I'll get my things.
Got a food pantry.
Which one
and
is
people
Froyo
are taking
Neil?
showers
I want to know
in
this.
your hatch. It's like none of you want to go home again. We are gonna build a sign, a massive sign.
A giant
along the
SOS.
beach. So that
Okay.
way, if a plane flies over, they know we're here. They know about us.
Maybe we should speak to Jack about this first.
I mean, he's not the president. He's a doctor.
You're a dentist.
Can I speak to you for just a second?
Oh. What are you doing?
I want to get back to our life.
Well, the only thing you are doing is giving these people false hope.
Coming from her, that's huge. Because she was all about unwavering hope
Excuse me.
that Bernard was going to
I haven't
survive.
signed a belt.
Oh, I hope they don't fall apart. That's terrible if they do.
Bernard, what are you doing?
Is this about him about to propose?
Rose, I'd always dreamed of finding somebody like you, but I'd given up hope that I ever would. I know. It's crazy. We just met 5 months ago, but 5 months is long enough. Because I knew after 5 minutes. Will you marry me?
Are they just going to have a normal, fun backstory, or is something crazy going to happen in the background? Oh no! I spoke way too soon.
I'm sick, and I'm dying.
Oh my god. Oh no. Did the plane somehow save her too?
I've been in remission for the last couple of years.
Oh
But
man.
now it's back, and this time it's not going away. I have about a year, maybe a little longer.
Well then let's get married and let's enjoy that year.
You haven't answered my question.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sure.
They're so good together.
Yes.
Go see the world, you two.
We could sure use all the bodies we could get to help put it together.
Sorry, I'm busy.
What are they up to?
Regrets, Bernard. I've only got 2 hands, you know.
Well, could I at least grab some of these logs? We could sure use
We're
them.
using them.
For what, exactly?
The church.
Wow.
I'm trying to get us saved.
People are saved in different ways, Bernard.
I think I liked you better when you just hit people with your stick.
I like you just the way you are.
Charlie and Echo are an interesting combo, aside from both being NATO phonetic alphabet. Between Charlie and Echo in the NATO alphabet comes Delta, which is the symbol for change. Very Hawaiian music playing in the background.
John, Henry! Henry, did you enter the numbers?
No, we didn't.
Did you push the button or not? I need to know. I want you to answer me. Answer me, you hear me?
Oh. Man, he's just like, he's kind of Loki-esque, isn't he? Just a shit disturber at the core.
Where's Frogurt?
Neil's left already? Come on.
These
I
black
hope
rocks
Neil's building a
will get
Frogurt stand.
maximum contrast with the sand. Okay, all right, let's get started. Come on.
Yeah, poor Bernard. He's just not a leader.
You saying we're lost doesn't make us lost, sweetheart.
You're driving right at Uluru. How are you lost?
Thank goodness, civilization.
Yeah, how are you lost? There's Uluru right behind you.
I told you, honey, we're not lost. I want you to see this man. His name is Isaac of Uluru.
You brought me to a faith healer?
Please.
I didn't ask for this!
Yeah.
I have made my peace with what's happening to me.
Well, I haven't. I can't just do nothing, Rose.
Yeah.
I have to try. Will you try, Rose?
I like what they're doing here. Like, this isn't a crazy story yet. I mean, it's sad and it's tragic, but
Come on, Sawyer. I need your help. Now, what do you say? Pasadena.
Maybe the reason people are quitting is because you got yourself a management problem.
I am just trying to do something.
That's exactly right. You're always trying to do. Why can't you just let things be?
If I didn't always have to do something, you wouldn't be here.
did the faith healer work? Or did the crash heal her? Or, I mean, is she healed? Do we even know that?
I'm flattered.
Yeah, why is that?
Because you chose me to go with you instead of Sawyer.
I asked Saeed first, but he turned me down. I only asked you because they don't want you. Then again, they didn't really want me either.
Damaged goods. Both of us.
What is that? Come on, Tracker Kate. Oh, we're back to...
It's a doll.
Wait, no.
No, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Oh. Jeez. Are those the same dolls we saw in the cave back in season 1? Remember we saw those dolls and then they never amounted to anything for the longest time?
Okay?
This is awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, good, so you can't hear me.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get the gun. I can't get my arm around.
All right, hang on. Sorry. Got it.
Now, give me the gun.
Why? What for?
Kate's a better shot.
Hey.
I'm a better shot than you are.
Oh, really?
Yeah?
Yeah, I told you. I grew up hunting with my dad.
Which might not actually be true.
I have a better angle than I... Anyway,
Oh, that's gonna be your excuse when I make the shot.
when you make the shot.
No, he's going to drop the gun.
Okay.
Good job, Jack.
No, you're doing it all wrong.
Oh,
I
Bernard,
told you
jeez.
3 rows.
Terrible management, Bernard.
Do I just have to do everything myself?
This is why people don't like going to the dentist.
Supposed to do? No, Jin, no, wait. I just want to get my wife home.
Jin gets that.
Sorry.
You're in my spot.
Oh, interesting combo.
I can move.
Can you?
Oh, that's funny.
That man doesn't know the difference between an errand and a fool's errand.
Well, Rose, most of us don't.
Can't remember the last time I saw you out of that hatch.
I'm done with the hatch.
Are you,
Oh,
John?
now you're just frustrated. You'll be out of that splint in no time.
Have faith.
It'd be at least 4 weeks.
But honey, you and I both know it's not gonna take that long.
The island cured her. The island cured her. They both know the secret. I love that Rose is like come to terms with that. Maybe it didn't.
Please
I don't
make
know.
yourself comfortable. Isaac will be right with you.
Isaac. Very biblical. Man, I gotta scan for faces. Anyone we're gonna recognize?
You must be Rose. There are certain places with great energy. Spots on the Earth. Like the one we're above now.
And like the island.
Perhaps this energy is geological, magnetic. Or perhaps it's something else. I harness this energy and give it to others.
What is it?
I'm sorry.
I can't help you.
Can't do anything for you, Rose.
I didn't expect you to.
This is not the right place for you.
The island is.
Where is the right place?
I'll return your husband's donation.
Don't. I'm gonna tell him you fixed me.
Oh, wow.
What did you mean back there? You said they were sophisticated, the others.
Oh, she hasn't spoken about the...
Last week, Claire and I went into the jungle and found another hat.
What?
How have they not told anyone about that?
That was in lockers. They had clothes inside, all worn and dirty. They're on hangers, like costumes. There was a makeup kit, and a fake beard.
When were you going to tell me this?
Yeah.
When you decided to let me back in the club.
Heady much?
We're here.
Okay.
Right there's where I laid my guns down.
Is there an irony that there's a big black rock right behind them?
We got your man! You want him back? You're gonna have to come out here!
Jack!
I know you're out there! I know you can hear me!
Jack, they're not here!
I'll be right here!
I owe you an apology.
You don't have anything to be sorry for. It's my own damn fault I'm out here by myself.
That's not why I'm apologizing. I lied to you. He didn't heal me. But that doesn't mean I'm not healed.
Mm-hmm.
And after the crash, I couldn't feel it anymore.
Yeah.
It's this place.
So, at this point, we know Locke's cured, Rose is cured, presumably Jin's infertility is cured, and yet Hurley's mental illness isn't. Who else has been cured?
How do you know it wasn't Isaac who healed you? How do you know that he didn't heal you?
Sometimes you just know.
I know.
These yours?
Yeah. She crossed paths with John. That makes total sense. So someone else knows Locke's secret too. And this is why she
You
isn't...
don't want to be rescued, do you? You think if you leave, it'll come back.
It could. It totally could.
And if you can't leave,
Then he's not gonna leave, of course.
neither can I. We won't ever leave, Rose.
They are good together. They are good together. They really are.
I would offer to take down the sign, but we didn't get very far.
Was it like a third of an S?
Hey,
Hi.
I pressed your button.
It's not my button.
Where'd you go?
I just needed to
Stretch my legs.
stretch my legs.
They're becoming a little... Well, I know their personalities. I don't know what's going to happen next, but sometimes you can tell what they're going to say next. And I like when characters reach that point. It's coming back to him. Is it just a version of the same I Ching in the logo? Just with pictograms instead of the patterns of lines and broken lines? You know when an episode finishes with feel-good music and happy times, it's not gonna last. Is something bad gonna happen this episode, or are we... Oh... Yeah, Sawyer. Congratulations, no one likes you, just like you wanted. One more happy couple, maybe?
How long are you gonna wait, Jack? Maybe they can't hear you.
They can hear me.
I'm sorry I kissed you.
I'm not.
Here they come. Who's coming? Is it all of them? Is it Michael?
Michael.
Yeah, it's been too long. Did they have him? It's about time Michael comes sort of back to the story. Like, it seemed odd to me that when Jack said he'd propose a trade, he would only trade for Walt. Like, where would they assume Michael is at this point, if not with the others? And I know that... I'm going to keep calling him Zeke, deal with it. I know Zeke said that we don't have Michael. I think he said that, didn't he? But if I was Jack, I wouldn't necessarily believe that. and you know, Michael's been gone, you know, most of the season at this point. So where else would he have been? You know, like, would you not assume that they have him, and or at least hope that they have him, and that you can trade for both him and Walt, not just Walt? Jack just professed his interest to Kate, which is understandable and expected, and maybe one of the least interesting things that happened in the whole episode, because Rose was healed too, and now we realize that, you know, she knew Locke's secret, had proof that Locke had been healed, but we'd already begun to question whether Jin had been healed when we found out that Sun was pregnant. What else has anyone else been knowingly been healed? You know, people have been healing their injuries rapidly, and I've sort of attributed that to the impatience of television production. But let's be real. I mean, this could be the power of the island, you know? Charlie was brought back to life. I mean, he was from being hung, and Jack certainly helped, but yeah, which makes you wonder, like, if Jack had amputated Boone's leg, for instance, would Boone have recovered? Would Boone have survived? Why didn't the victims of the crash that were injured miraculously heal? The guy who broke his leg with the tailies, our Marshall, you know, there were so many others that were injured upon the crash and died. So why did the healing power of the island not fix them? And why hasn't it fixed Hurley's mental illness? You know, Hurley is still hallucinating Dave and almost committing suicide, and yet the island fixes Jin's spermatozoa. I don't know. It seems a little selective, but we have at least three. We have one definite case of the island healing, and probably two more in Jin and Rose. And perhaps there's others that we just sort of haven't fully realized yet. Certainly these smaller injuries that have come up, you know, everything from Jack's back to Charlie being hung. Like Rose says, we all know that Locke's going to be running around in no time, even though his leg has a hairline fracture. So yeah, you know, the island heals. We already knew that, but now we know that it's not just a singular miracle pertaining to Locke, but it has a power that affects everybody, and Locke was just the first instance of it. So that's fascinating. That's fascinating, you know, and it's like Isaac of Uluru said, is it geological, magnetic, or is it something else? That's for us to question for the next 4+ seasons, I would assume. Michael is back, finally. I mean, he disappeared after, like, what, about episode 5 or so this season? I'm just guessing. You can correct me in the comments, feel free. What has he been up to for the last 12+ episodes? Presumably, now that Jack and Kate have him, they will have to take him back, heal him up, and we'll get to hear his story. I hope this isn't like the Claire and Charlie phenomenon, where they have amnesia of the events in question because of the mass trauma and PTSD and all the rest of it. But at least maybe Libby can help pull that out. I want to know more about Libby. I figured we'd get a Libby backstory before we got a Bernard backstory. It's very cool that we got a Bernard and Rose backstory. You know, Libby's become a regular. Rose has always been a once in a blue moon kind of character, and it felt like once Bernard was reunited with her that he would fall into that same pattern. But to give them an episode of their meet cute and his desperate attempt to cure her in Australia, I thought that was really special and wonderful. Yeah, this show continues to surprise me in that kind of way. That being said, I need to see some Libby backstory at this point, because she's the only one left. And she's fascinating, you know, after that reveal in Dave where we know she's a patient, and yet we know she's got some medical training. We know that she's got some therapist training. You know, she guided Claire's meditation. What's her background? What put her into a psychiatric ward? What put her over the cuckoo's nest? So yeah, I'd be very, very curious to learn more about her, and I'm sure it's coming. There's so many questions right now. You know, we're still not dealing with Henry Gale in the vault. You know, he's obviously, he knows what he's doing. He's manipulating Locke. Did he actually push the button? Did he push another code? Is that what triggered the airdrop? The timing of that moment where Henry had to go through the air vents to the computer never sat quite right with me. It didn't feel like enough time. I felt like maybe it was just poor writing, but the show doesn't make those mistakes very, like, almost ever. So it feels like they knew what they were doing, and it didn't feel to me like Henry had enough time to crawl through the air vents, get down to the computer, punch in the code. But Henry's telling this story to Locke that he got to the computer, chose not to enter the code. He talked about the red hieroglyphs, which Locke has seen, so Locke knows that he's not lying about that. And then that it just reset by itself. Now, when Locke saw the red hieroglyphs, he finished entering the code, hit execute, and the clock reset. But maybe that finishing touch didn't actually do it, and maybe the system just resets on its own, or... And is that connected? It certainly feels timing-wise like it's connected to the airdrop of supplies, but maybe the supplies were what if Henry entered a different code, which is like the request supplies code, and that's how the others / Dharma Initiative have been lasting on this island for years and years and years, at least 16 years, probably since the 70s. If that's the case, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. You know, he's clearly one of the others at this point. He's clearly part of the Dharma Initiative. He knows what he's doing, but to what end? I guess that's the big question is, what was his mission? It's unlikely that he was... You know, Jack's question to him early in the episode was right. You know, like, he got caught on purpose. I can't imagine that he got caught by accident. But it was a big risk for him to get caught because he didn't know for sure that Danielle would involve the survivors. Danielle's unhinged enough to shoot at him, and despite what Danielle says, an arrow shot at the back of a running man can easily kill him. He was lucky enough to survive that, but, you know, still got shot. And now he's basically compiling notes on our survivors. He hasn't met everybody, but he's met enough, and he's met the inner circle, so to speak. He's basically a spy, and I don't know how they can let him go. And yes, trading is an option, but he's right, they're not going to give up Walt, or at least that's what he's saying. Maybe they would give up Walt, but they certainly seem very interested in getting Walt. And we know Walt has manifested some powers that might be very interesting to the Dharma Initiative. So, yeah, man, I mean, we're right where we need to be. We're set up for this season finale at this point. We've got 5 episodes to go, I believe, and so much can happen in those 5 episodes. I'm very curious to see where we go next. We're just going to have to wait and find out, aren't we? Until the next episode, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, as always. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what the heck? I know half of you that are watching aren't subscribed. You know, YouTube's very good at telling me these statistics, and it blows my mind. Like, you guys tune in every week. Why not hit that subscribe button? You know, you don't have to subscribe, but it just seems odd. I'd hate for you to miss one of these. I put a lot of effort into these, and I know in general you guys seem to like them, so don't miss them. If you're tuning in every week, make sure you don't miss any of them. On that note, thank you guys so much. Take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.